everyone, Ogre27 Kane here today, and we're gonna do a review of Blood, Shootas, and Teef, a Warhammer game for Nintendo Switch. Let's do a brief overview and figure out what this game is all about. So first of all, bit of a spoiler warning here. I do show a good chunk off of the midsection of this game. It's not terribly long, only being about 5 to 6 hours long. Now that out of the way, it's a 1 to 4 player, local, online, multiplayer, co-op, twin-stick shooter essentially with RPG elements. It takes place in the Warhammer 40k universe and follows an orc on a mission to get back his lost hair squig from a corrupt war boss. Let's start out with the story. So as I previously stated, you're an orc on a mission to get back your hair squig from your corrupt war boss, Ogric Gutrekka. This takes place on planet Ludius Alpha. Yeah, I absolutely love that name. And it has essentially all of the different characters and creatures throughout the Warhammer universe on this one planet. They're all vying for power and control over it for one reason or another, but you play as this basically silly dumb orc who just wants to destroy everything and become the top Gutrekka himself. This is a fantastic story that doesn't get in the way too much, and it just carries along everything you need to see. There's not a lot to it, and it really is just a bite-sized episode of Warhammer. On top of that, your main character, as you can see, is pretty dumb here, and it's really about the humor itself. I love the humor in this game. The characters are almost puppet-like too, so let's hit the combat now. So the combat in this game is pretty fun, but it is essentially the meat and potatoes to the whole thing. It's pretty simplistic. You have 4 different guns you can swap between on the fly: a bazooka, a machine gun, a pistol, and essentially what is a flamethrower, hammer saw, whatever melee type you want to put into it. You also have a melee weapon itself, and you have a dash and a double jump. This game is very much about fast reactions and fast timing, and like I said earlier, the combat really is most of everything you'll experience. If you're familiar with a twin-stick shooter or a Metal Slug or Contra type game, this game should fit in pretty well for you, and having the multiplayer aspect is a blast. The only thing I didn't enjoy about this entire experience is how you can blow yourself up with your own rockets and the friendly fire aspect. Especially when you have a lot of things going on the screen, this can get really annoying and you can kill yourself and not even know why. That out of the way, it's a minor gripe, and the game is easy enough that you can get through it without too many hiccups. So I think we should move on now and check out the gameplay. So the gameplay loop in this is very similar to a run and gun shooter, but you do have the RPG elements. You also have the really cool cutscenes in between and the hand-drawn art style with the amazing soundtrack. All of these features come together to really make a great gameplay experience. The world isn't terribly big, as I said, about 5 to 6 hours long, but if you're playing this as a multiplayer game, it's a good sit down for a few minutes and just get somewhere kind of game. I enjoyed this a lot, but my daughters weren't too keen on this game. I played most of it by myself. The other gameplay feature I have to mention to this is how your character sometimes will face the wrong direction while you're moving around, and it can get a little annoying, but I'll hit on that in controls a little bit more. The other cool thing is that the world changes constantly from level to level, and none of the levels really stay too long or get too boring. There's just enough variation to keep you moving forward, and as with the story itself, it really does a good job making you want to see the next piece or part to the world. The art, of course, is amazing in this. But I think we should move on now to the next category, the controls and audio. So as I kind of mentioned in combat, you have your basic moveset of roll, dodge, jump, blah blah blah. But the piece that I did mention before that's kind of annoying is the direction that your character faces. He doesn't automatically face whatever's closest to him, and sometimes you'll be shooting backwards and getting yourself in a lot of trouble. This can get annoying with a lot of enemies on screen, and I wish there was some sort of auto adjustment to help you allocate to the right area. This really only gets annoying when you have multiple players on the screen and you accidentally blow somebody up with a rocket. That out of the way though, I think we should talk about the audio. And there's not really a lot I really want to say too much more about that, but I do want to show some of it off, as I absolutely love the audio in this game. And I think the creator, Dion Van Heerden, did a fantastic job. This game has a full soundtrack available on Spotify, and I know that he has some other really good work that I'd love to get into, so let's check it out. Absolutely love that. Graphics and animation are up now. So, in terms of the artwork itself, I absolutely adore the graphics in this game. I think they're gorgeous, and I think the animation quality is very good too. It has kind of broken and stilted animation, and the way it's been described to me is that the pieces have to be animated individually instead of together because the model is too complex. They didn't have a big enough budget to animate them completely. That's a very minor gripe, and it doesn't bother me. The whole puppet aspect is not really a new thing to me. The thing that I do have to mention though is that the performance in this game suffers from time to time. There are a lot of frame rate skips and a lot of weird juddering and frame pacing issues, and it really threw me off. It really doesn't depend either on what's going on the screen, because there were times when I was getting bombarded by tons of enemies and it was smooth as silk, and other times when it was just a couple enemies on the screen and it was all over the place. It's a very weird issue, but something I have to mention. Let's do conclusion now. So in conclusion, this game is a lot of fun. If you enjoy a good twin-stick run-and-gun type shooter, then you'll have a blast with this. It also has some really fun aspects with the multiplayer being both online and local co-op. It adds a ton of value and replay value to this game. Now, I'm not sure if this game had a very big print run. I picked it up for about $35, but I have no idea if it'll stay at that price. If you're a Warhammer enthusiast, this game has a great sense of humor, and it really adds a lot to the story and is a good palate cleanser to an otherwise dry and drab universe. It's totally worth the money and it's a good value, but be aware there are some minor performance issues. All that aside, I hope this video piqued your interest, because it is totally worth playing. So, thank you for watching today's video. It was a blast to make. I upload every single Monday. If you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe, and have a great rest of your day. This is Ogre27 Kane, signing out.
Oh, you bunch of weaklings! I ain't even shot you yet! Oh, come on, don't just ignore me, you runts! Get back here for a proper clumping! What the... that wasn't me!